Stop chasing the car. Stop chasing the house. If you need them to push you, you have already lost the war. You are drowning in the average. Here is the brutal truth about success that nobody tells you, and the 3 words that will finally save your life. So you have got to do me a massive favor. You have to do me a colossal favor, perhaps the most difficult thing you will ever attempt in your breathing life. You must arrive at a station in your existence where you no longer require a motor car to drive you. You no longer require a manor, a detached house, or a prestigious postcode to validate your worth. You do not need to be prodded by another living soul. If you are sitting there, waiting for your spouse to shove you, for your children to guilt you, or for the fear of the bailiff to kick you into gear, listen to me very closely. You have already lost the war. You are fighting a battle with ammunition that does not exist. Welcome to Glacier Wisdom. If you are ready to stop lying to yourself and start engineering a life of absolute dominance, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now to support our mission of awakening the sleeping giants. The necessity to improve, the absolute compulsion to evolve, must become your internal engine. It must push you because you are closer than you have ever been in your history. It is going to drive you. You should not require a carrot or a stick. Your objectives are going to push you. Your visions are going to push you. The opportunity of a lifetime, which is occurring in this precise fleeting time frame, is going to push you. It is going to drive you. It is going to forge you into something sharper, something harder. You see, the problem with the vast majority of people is that their fuel source is external. They run on the cheap, dirty fuel of validation. They want the applause. They want the shiny commodities. They want the neighbors to look over the fence in envy. But that fuel burns out. What happens when the car breaks down? What happens when the house loses its novelty? You stop. And that is exactly why you fail. You need to shift your psychology to a place of survival. You must treat your ambition not as a luxury, but as oxygen. Imagine being held underwater. When you are drowning, thrashing in the deep, you do not care about the brand of your watch. You do not care about what is on the television. You do not care about what people think of your haircut. You only care about one thing: air. You need to breathe. And until your success is as vital to you as that next breath, you will remain stagnant. Your why cannot be superficial. It must be visceral. It must be a fire in your belly that does not require anyone else to stoke it. It is autonomic, like your heartbeat. You do not tell your heart to beat. It just does. You should not have to tell yourself to work. You just do. Because the alternative is a slow, quiet death of potential. So do me a favor. As I stand here and as I prepare to leave, you must make a covenant with yourself. You can no longer reside in the realm of the average. The era of being average is over. 70% effort, it is simply not going to cut it. You cannot put in 70% graft and expect 100% of the rewards. It is mathematically impossible, and it is delusional to think otherwise. You cannot give me 70% and be who you claim you want to be. You cannot give me 70% and possess the life you sketch out in your daydreams. You can no longer be just okay. You can no longer be good. Because in this new economy, in this brutal landscape we inhabit, good is the fastest route to being forgotten. 80%, you cannot be good anymore. 80% effort will get you a standard existence, a standard wage, and a standard mountain of regret. You cannot be merely competent at something and possess everything you have ever fantasized about. To make those dreams tangible, to no longer just sleep on them, but to walk inside them, you cannot operate at anything less than maximum capacity. Before we proceed to the next level of this truth, I want you to be honest with yourself in the comments below. Which force is currently driving your life? A, the fear of losing what I have. B, the obsession with becoming what I must be. Type A or B in the comments right now. And once you accept that operating at anything less than full capacity is a death sentence for your dreams, you must confront the brutal reality of what good actually costs you. Let us examine the mathematics of your ambition with forensic precision, because the numbers do not lie. Even at 90%, you can be good. You can be arguably superb. You can turn heads and garner a polite round of applause. But listen to me, you will still not secure the legacy. You will not get it all. I am telling you, it is only when you become phenomenal that the locks fall off the doors. When you become phenomenal, there is nothing you cannot have, nothing you cannot execute, nothing you cannot become. The tragedy of modern society is that it is crowded in the middle. The queue for average is miles long. It stretches around the block. The queue for good is substantial, filled with people who did just enough to get by. But the space for phenomenal, it is sparse. It is a lonely, desolate, elevated place. And that is exactly where you need to reside. I firmly believe that if you are listening to this frequency right now, if you are engaging with these words, we are occupying the same mental real estate. I believe that we are all in this place together because every single one of us harbors a deep-seated disdain for the average. None of us aspire to be merely good. For those of us who have touched the hem of greatness, we possess a desire to push past that boundary and witness what phenomenal actually looks like. But here is the trap, and it is a seductive one. I hear people say things like, when I make it, when I get to the top, I will keep working hard until I reach my goal. Let me correct you. Let me shatter that illusion right now. There is no end. There is no finish line where you get to sit down, put your feet up, and sip a cocktail for the rest of your days. That is a fairy tale for the weak. Winners never stop. If you reach your goal, set a bigger goal. If you ascend to the peak of the mountain, find a bigger mountain. It is the journey. It is the continued pursuit of growth. It is the constant, relentless seeking of improvement. It is the challenge. That is what makes life magnificent. That is what constitutes a fulfilled existence. You must adopt the mantra, I did not come this far to only come this far. When I achieve this goal, I will seek more. Not more material rubbish, not more trinkets to gather dust on a shelf. More growth. I am constantly pushing myself to be a superior version of the man I was yesterday. I came this far so I could be strong enough to go further, so I would be skilled enough to push myself harder. I am only getting started. This is merely the prologue. You must be proud of your achievements, certainly, but that does not mean you settle for them. You must be proud but never satisfied, proud but forever hungry, proud and always ready, proud but pushing for more, pushing for great. A true winner does not merely seek the title or the accolade. A true winner seeks the expansion of their own capability. It is the journey. It is the graft. Do not tell me it is over. You should be just getting warmed up. If the journey were not challenging, the destination would not be rewarding. It is the challenge that forges the greatness. You cannot have a champion athlete without a formidable adversary pushing them all the way to the breaking point. You cannot have the greatest of all time without other champions nipping at their heels. It is the process that manufactures the greatness. The difference between the winners and the spectators, the people in the stands eating their popcorn, is that the winners possess a belief that overrides the crowd's disbelief every single time. Their belief is so robust, so concrete, that even when they hit failure, even when they get knocked on their backside, they find the intentional force to stand back up again. To maintain that stance when the world is beating you down, you need to construct an impenetrable fortress within your own mind. I need you to understand something fundamental about the architecture of your own psychology. When you think about your objective, when you visualize that dream that keeps you awake in the dead of night, you need a mantra that is unbreakable. As I stood in that hospital room, staring into the face of adversity, I did not hope. I did not wish. I stated, I declared, I can, I will, I must. I need everybody to say it with me, and I need you to feel the vibration of these words rattling in your chest. I can, I will, I must. This is not a nursery rhyme. This is a binding contract with your future self. For those of you who desire it all, every single dream, every single metric of success, you are going to say it, and you are going to stand tall, and you are going to say it like you actually mean it. I can, I will, I must. Now, I need you to cast your mind to that individual. Think about that loved one, that person who sacrificed for you, or perhaps that person who doubted you, that individual that you have to do this for. I need you to say it for them, for the mother who struggled, for the children looking up to you. Now, shift your focus. I want you to think about that hurdle. I want you to visualize that specific obstacle that keeps pressing you down into the dirt, that mountain that feels impossible to climb, that debt, that addiction, that fear, that failure that you just cannot seem to navigate. We are going to conquer it today. I know something about you. I have never met you, but I know your spirit. I know you are not a quitter. If you were a quitter, you would have turned this off by now. You are a survivor. So I want you to cut off the negativity. I want you to go to the mirror, look yourself in the eye, and make the rest of your life the absolute best of your life. It does not matter where you start, mates. It does not matter what talents you were born with. It is about where you finish. And this race is not over. You can still come in first in the marathon, but you have got to start today. But starting today requires more than just spirit. It requires a ruthless audit of the one resource you can never earn back, no matter how wealthy you become. This is a rant, a very simple, necessary, abrasive rant. And it is something that I want you to pass on or watch every Monday morning, because the level of complaining in this society has reached a fever pitch that is frankly unacceptable. Look, what if I told you this was the last Monday morning of your life? What if I told you with absolute certainty that you would expire this week? Would you complain about your rubbish job? I doubt it. You would ascend to a much higher level of thinking. You would focus on what matters. We are living in a world where there is so much opportunity, yet I just do not understand the mentality of walking around with your head down, sad and defeated. Please take a step back and think about how awesome it actually is to be alive. Recognize that you can attack the world in a totally different way because you were lucky enough to be born during this era. Do you know the maths of you? The probability of you being born, of your specific DNA sequence coming into existence, is 400 trillion to 1. When you understand that maths, how can you not live your life with ferocity? That is how rare it is to be a human being. So, what are you waiting for? We are not catching up in our actions to our ambitions, and what it leads to is a whole lot of whinging and complaining. Of course, it is supposed to be hard. People say, oh, it is so hard. No kidding. You want to make millions of pounds and live your perfect life? Why on earth should that be easy? If it were easy, everyone would be doing it. Let us audit your time. You can live on 6 hours of sleep. That leaves you with 18 hours. You have 18 godforsaken hours in a day. I want to know what you are doing with your 18 hours. You can work your 9-to-5 job. That is 9 hours gone. You can travel for an hour here and there. Respect a solid commute. You want to be a family man? Mazel tov. You can spend 2 hours with your kids, but what are you doing with those other 5 hours? You are watching box sets. You are playing FIFA. You are scrolling through social media, engaging in envy, looking at lives you could have if you got off the sofa. You are relaxing from the intense 10 hours you actually worked. If you have already spent 11 hours working and commuting, great, but then do not complain that you want more. Respect that by getting rest, you are giving up the opportunity to build a new life. You have the audacity to want a 1% life. Let us call it what it is. You want to live as well as the top 1 to 2% in the world. It is not very complicated. The maths is raw. If you want to have one of the best lives in the world, which means you live on your terms, you have to pay your dues to get there. There is only one thing you can do that trumps your DNA, trumps your circumstances, trumps your background. That one controllable variable is work. Graft. Who is in it because they are truly in it, and who is in it because it is the trend? Entrepreneurship is hidden. It is easy to put CEO in your bio. It is easy to look the part, go to the conferences, sip the champagne. You can trick the world for a while, but the market does not lie. If you know deep down that you are being exposed by this rant, here is a smart move. Before your world collapses, go figure out who the wartime generals are. We are in a window of time that will close. We saw this in 2001. We saw it in 2008. When the economy turns, the fake entrepreneurs vanish. It gets ugly. You could take a 10-year step back, or you could take advantage of the window we are in right now. You do not need to know in theory how AI works. You do not need to know broadly how the internet works. You need to go deeper, not wider. I got here because I was a practitioner. I did not just talk about email marketing. I built a business on it. I did not just talk about YouTube, I used it. It is time for less talking and more doing. And once you stop merely discussing your potential and start actually deploying it, you will inevitably collide with the brutal truth of the arena. I do not know who told you this was about academics. I do not know who told you this was about maths, English, or science in the traditional sense. You might be sitting there thinking, why do I need maths to blow up? Why do I need English to be successful? Look, this is not about what you think it is. This is life and death. School sets a foundation, yes, but I need you to read the contract of life with your eyes wide open. I need you to apply 120% effort because I know something about you. When you put forth 120% effort, there is nothing you cannot do. I do not want you to live to die anymore. I want you to die to live. It is hard to put the effort in to create greatness. But let me tell you what is harder. It is a lot harder to accept the reality 20 years from now that you could have been great, but you chose comfort instead. I want you to understand the heart of the grind. Listen to me closely. Luck is for leprechauns, and you are not green. I'm going to say it again so it sinks into your marrow. Luck is for leprechauns, and you are not green. What I'm telling you is that if you are willing to go into beast mode, you can have whatever you want. But understand this, the bigger your dream is, the earlier you will have to get up. The bigger your dream is, the longer you are going to have to stay awake. The bigger your dream is, the more effort you're going to have to put in. For those of you who raise your hand and put up 70% effort, you will never see it. You will never see the summit. You are 70% beast, 30% gazelle. You are prey. When you say to yourself, this is what I want to accomplish, realize you are not the only person who wants it. So I ask you this question. What do you do when 1,000 other people want exactly what you want? What do you do when you are not the only one who wants to be the CEO, the star, the millionaire? What if there are thousands of others who are just as hungry as you? You have to outwork them. You have to outgrind them. You have to get up earlier. You have to stay up later. You have to execute. And you have to go from 70% to 120%. No excuses, mates. This is for the lifers. This is for the warriors. Start today. In the final analysis, this entire discourse boils down to a singular, piercing realization. You are the architect of your own stagnation or your own liberation. We have stripped away the comfortable lies that society feeds you. We have dismantled the notion that external rewards, the cars, the houses, the applause, are sufficient fuel for a lifetime of greatness. They are not. They are fleeting mirages. True power, the kind that sustains a legacy, comes from an internal combustion engine that screams, I can, I will, I must, even when the world is silent. We have looked at the mathematics of your existence, the 400 trillion to 1 probability of your being here, and we have exposed the absolute madness of wasting such a miracle on complaining, scrolling, and settling for a 70% effort. You now understand that good is the enemy of phenomenal, and that luck is a fairy tale designed to comfort those who are afraid to work. The arena of life is crowded, and the only way to separate yourself from the thousands who want exactly what you want is to outwork, outthink, and outlast them. You must shift from being a passive observer of your life to the active predator of your potential. The profound lesson in application. The deepest lesson to take away from this is that identity precedes reality. You cannot wait until you are successful to start acting like a winner. You must adopt the identity of a beast, a survivor, and a champion right now in the midst of your struggle. To apply this to your life immediately, do this. Stop waiting for the perfect time. It does not exist. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Motivation is a feeling, discipline is a command. Start your audit today. Look at your 18 waking hours. Where are you leaking energy? Where are you giving 70%? Cut the distraction. If you're a student, study with 120% intensity. If you are an employee, work as if you own the company. If you are an entrepreneur, grind until the lights go out. Treat every Monday like it is your last chance to prove why you deserve to be here. Question for the community. We want to hear from you. To solidify your commitment, please answer this simple question in the comments below. If you could change just one specific habit starting tomorrow morning to move your life from average to phenomenal, what would it be? For example, waking up an hour earlier, deleting social media apps, or reading for 30 minutes a day. Please share your thoughts below so we can learn from each other. And finally, if this message woke something up inside you, please subscribe to Glacier Wisdom. Your support gives us the fuel to keep bringing you the rawest, most honest content on the internet. Let's build this legacy together.